Pilates Pre Phase. This is to help you understand Pilates terminology and also the techniques that we use to perform the Pilates exercises. So I'm going to go through stage by stage and explain as much as possible what you should be feeling and how the body should be moving. First of all, let's start off with our breathing. With Pilates, the out breath is very important because that comes with the exertion of a movement. So when a movement is hard or we need more energy, we exhale the breath through the mouth. To encourage the breath and bring the diaphragm in, we inhale through the nose and then we exhale through the breath. So the flow of the breath should be nice and even, but let's not concentrate on it too much because sometimes the best exercises are done when you're breathing in your most relaxed state and what's natural to you. And you'll find that the exhalation of the breath will automatically happen when you exert through a movement. So let's lie back onto our back and place the hands by our side and the feet flat on the floor. So the legs are bent at 45 degrees through the knee. Now in this position, we call this a neutral spine position. This is where you have a slight space between the spine and the mat. So the tailbone is down, the shoulders, the scapula are down, and the head is down. And just as the body curves through the spine, you've got a nice gap here, and that is completely neutral. When we talk about imprinting the spine, we talk about drawing the abdominals down and close to the spine, so pulling in through the navel and the belly button and zipping up through the pelvis and pushing that lower back down into the spine. So every vertebrae along the spine is now pushing down into the floor. This is an imprinted spine. And this is used when we start to bring the legs up or the feet off the floor. So as you naturally do, you bring one leg up and then the other one, the spine will now sit nice and deep and close to the mat. So this is imprinted. So let's place those feet back down, always one at a time, so we don't put too much pressure on the lower back, and come back into a neutral spine. So just let that go. So just pressing the spine in to the floor and then releasing it just encourages the pelvis to start to move. You start to align the body a little bit more, and you start to balance out the flow of the movements by distributing the weight evenly on each side of the leg and foot. Make sure the foot is always planted on the floor and that the shoulders are nice and relaxed and there's no tension building up through the neck. It's always a nice way to start off by just getting that pelvis and core activation moving. So with the breath, let's inhale, exhale as we imprint. Inhale, release into neutral, exhale as you imprint. Let's do a few more. Inhale, exhale as you imprint. One more. Last one. And relax back into neutral. So let's take that a step further and come into what we call a pelvic curl. So this is what I like to describe as peeling a banana off the floor. So you're going to start by imprinting the spine, tipping the pelvis up, and you're slowly going to lift one vertebrae up, starting from the tailbone, off the floor, supporting yourself with your hamstrings, the feet stay planted until you come all the way up onto your top vertebrae, which is right at the top of your neck. So you should feel that your back is off the floor, but nicely supported because you're drawing in through the abdominals and extending nice and long through the body. The knees stay in line, they don't waver in or they don't go out. They just stay in line with the hips and the shoulders. Drop the shoulders down, hands are by your side. Slowly begin to release the spine back down, one vertebrae at a time. And we're using the imprint to go all the way down, pulling the belly button in, tilting the pelvis, and then relaxing back into neutral. Let the glutes completely relax and take the tension out of the hamstrings. All right, let's do that with the breath this time. Inhale. Good, exhale, imprint. Inhale. Exhale, slowly start to lift. Use the glutes and the hamstrings, nice and tall through the body. Keep the body nice and long. Hold it, inhale. Exhale, down. Control, control. Visualize the spine. And then release into neutral. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, imprint. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Right onto your top vertebrae. Inhale. Exhale, down. Now I want you to do this as many times as you need to so that you feel really comfortable with the flow. And sometimes it takes a while for the spine to unlock and to really get the movement nice and flowing. So when we start to progress into our exercises, the spine is ready. And release it there. Okay, so your next step is coming into what we call a tabletop position. So you're going to lift up your left leg and point the toe, and just make sure you have 90 degrees of the hip and 90 degrees of the knee. It's always quite handy sometimes to have a mirror so you can just almost see what position, because sometimes you think you've got 90 degrees and you're in or you're out, but I want you to make sure that you're aware of where your legs are. And the other side comes up too to meet the other leg. And the reason we call this a tabletop is because the shins should be nice and straight and parallel to the floor. So if you were to put a tray of tea on top of your legs, it should stay there, yeah? So we're going to hold that position. Again, remember the imprint of the spine starts to activate as we draw the abs in. It's this core structure here that's holding these legs up nice and stable. So make sure that's activated. Now this could be enough for you. You don't need to do much more. Just hold it here and just get used to the position and the breath. To take it a step further, we're going to take it into a toe tap. So the left leg is going to come down and just tap the floor. And then you're going to bring it back up into tabletop. You're going to go with the right side now. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And again, breathe. And up. Okay, your awareness with the abdominals. As the leg lowers, careful that the abdominals stay in and close to the cavity and they don't start to dome. Make sure the lower back is nicely supported and you feel no pain. If you start to feel a little twinge through the lower back, it's easy to rectify by just placing your hands underneath your lower back, just below your tailbone, or a towel. And then same thing, exercise goes down and back up, but you just feel the pressure of the lower back relieve a little bit. To make this exercise slightly harder, you would take the toe away from the body and then come back up again. This is activating more of your lower abdominals that you don't often use so much. We always concentrate on the transverse, the top layer, but the actual lower are very, very important, especially to prevent lower back pain. Let's just do 2 more. And then your last one. And then just to release that, I want you to bring the knees in towards the chest, give them a hug, and just rock from side to side. And you can circle the feet round at the same time just to get the blood flow back into the toes. Good, so you've got your pelvic curl, your imprint, your neutral spine, your tabletop position. And that's the basis of most of the exercises through Pilates on your mat work. So let's continue and just take the legs over to the side and let the body just follow. And place the hand underneath the head so the neck is in line with the spine. And you should feel quite comfortable on your side here. A lot of exercises are done on your side to activate the oblique muscles, the outside of the quads and the glutes. So I want you to just bring the knees in slightly so you've got 45 degrees of the knees, and make sure the hips are stacked. When we talk about the hips stacked, it means that one hip is directly on top of the other. Imagine you have a pole running through and they stay pretty still. So we're making sure that we're activating and drawing the muscles in through the core, and the spine is nice and long, and you're pushing the tailbone down, if you can imagine that, and just making sure that the hand in front is your support if you need it. Now, I want a light fingertip support here on the floor, and we don't depend on this hand too much. The core strength is coming from here. Relax the shoulders and just keep it here. Now, let's do an exercise in this position so we understand what it means to hold these hips in a stacked position. So we're going to just keep the feet together and open up through the leg of the top knee, opening up into your clam exercise and then down. Now this is an easy exercise. The reason I've chosen this one, it's an easy exercise for the hips to suddenly then begin to rotate back. So I need you to really concentrate on keeping the hips, as I keep saying, stacked above each other. So it doesn't mean you have to open the legs too wide. It just means that we're concentrating on the position of the body. So we'll just do 2 more on this side, and then we'll do 1 more, and we'll just leave it there. Good. All right, so we'll balance the body out and just do the other side quickly. I just need you to get an understanding of the positions that are required with these exercises. So let's do it again. Top leg lifts up and then down. If your hips are slightly stiff or you don't have a lot of flexibility through that pelvis area, then I really need you to concentrate on this position, because it's easy for things to go wrong. Again, exhaling as the leg comes away from the body, inhaling to close. Last 2, and then your last 1, and then back down. Again, make sure the upper body is nice and relaxed. You don't start to hold the tension through the neck. You're concentrating on the activation around the core. Turning over onto your tummy and just placing the hands directly underneath the head. So your hands are directly underneath your forehead and your chin is slightly tucked in towards your chest. So you've got a nice lengthening through the back of the neck. When you're lying on your front, just make sure again that everything's square to the floor. The hips are nicely positioned, pressing down into the floor. The chest is down and the shoulders are brought down away from your ears. So again, we've still got a nice posture even when we're lying. Let the legs feel nice and heavy and connected to the floor. So again, let's take a deep breath in and draw the belly button up towards the spine. So even though I can't see your abdominals, I just still want you to activate them so that the spine is always supported. So we're going to start off with a single leg extension, which is a nice classic Pilates move for the lower back muscles, all the muscles along here, which again are all part of your core. So inhale. As you exhale, lift the leg up, activate the glute, extend the toe nice and long as if someone is pulling the foot away from you, and then lower the leg down. And again, nice deep breath, inhale, exhale, let's do the other side. Lift, 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 and then down. So we're going to keep alternating the legs, and you're going to use the glute to lift. And you're going to feel a nice stretch through the front of the hip flexor at the same time. But what you should be feeling and what you should feel is being activated is the muscles along the lower back. The shoulders, the chest, the head is nice and relaxed. You can close the eyes and just concentrate on the movement as you lift the leg a little higher, as we get a little bit more flexibility through the hip. 4 more. 3, 2, and then your last one. And relax the feet back down to the floor. Change the position of the hands by bringing the fingertips to the temples and lifting the head slightly off the floor. Again, this is for the spine and the muscles around the spine. So make sure that the elbows are off the floor, just hovering, and slowly lift up like a dart and then slowly release back down. So the chest is just coming up. The head is always staying in line with the spine. The eyes are looking directly in front of you. Exhaling as you lift. So these exercises are very important at strengthening the muscles around the spine. So you're corseting that whole back with nice strong muscles. Last two. And then your last one. Place the hands underneath the shoulders and just push back into what we call a child pose position, where you sit back onto the heels, rest the forehead down to the floor and place the hands by your side. And you can from here feel the spine really open up and stretch out a little bit. So take as much time as you need to let the spine relax into this pose. And then when you're ready, come into all fours. So again, another position used a lot in Pilates, where the hands are positioned straight, directly underneath the shoulders, and the knees are directly underneath the hips. Again, we use the terminology of a tabletop, where the spine is nice and flat and straight and the head's in line with the spine. A little bit of balance here. We're going to just extend the left leg out, nice and straight behind us, and point the toe. Find where your core activation is and hold on to it. Just make sure you're always pulling up and in and nothing's being domed or pushed out. The opposite arm is going to extend in front of you, and you're going to keep the eyes directly in front. So you're concentrating on the form and the position of the body. And I want you to lengthen the fingers and lengthen the toes and keep that tabletop position. And then come back to center, and we'll do the other side. Exhale as you lift, keep the breath. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale, exhale, extend. Inhale, exhale down. One more each side. Inhale, exhale, lift. Good, and down, and again. And then slowly down, and release back into your child pose. Sit back onto your heels and relax the head. Okay, so let's just finish off with one last exercise. And just bring yourself back into a seated position with the legs in front of you. And just slowly roll back down onto your back. So remembering your neutral spine, the hands are down by your side. Bringing your left leg up into a tabletop position, and then your right. And now bring the hands out nice and wide with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. You're going to take a nice deep breath in, pulling the belly button down towards the spine, and slowly drop both knees down to one side. Don't let the knees touch the floor, because I don't want scapula, the shoulders, to lift off the floor. Nice deep breath, inhale, exhale, take the legs over to the other side, and slowly control the movement as the legs fall to the side. So this is a great exercise. You're getting a lot of muscles working here. Your obliques, your abdominals. You're getting a nice stretch through the lower back. You're getting a nice controlled movement and a nice flow of breath. Remember, always using the out breath with the hardest part of the movement. Concentrate on the head and the neck being nice and relaxed. And the arms are just there for a little bit of stability. Now to test that core activation, you can just bring the arms down a little bit more, and you have to really work a lot more with the abdominals to stabilize yourself. So you can gauge it and give it a little try, see how confident you are. Let's make that your last one. Bring the knees in towards the chest, give them a hug. Circle the ankles round, place the feet back down onto the floor, extend the legs nice and long. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring the arms back behind the head. Get a nice full body stretch. Make sure the rib cage is pressed down and it's soft. And then exhale and circle the arms round. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale back, and round. Your last one. And relax there. Well done.